All right, and welcome back. I am joined here with Edgar Cedillo. Edgar, how are you doing this morning?
Good. It feels weird to be on the other side of the questions.
I know. I mean, election season, there's a lot of questions definitely to be answered here. And
definitely.
One of which, at least on the top of my mind, are local initiatives that are going to be on the ballot, either absentee or when you go and vote in person. So we wanted to kind of break those down and just explain them a little bit more. So we're going to start with some that mainly affect folks that live in the Bozeman area. Let's start first, Edgar. This actually affects everyone in Gallatin County, this upcoming one regarding the motor vehicle tax. Now tell us a little bit about what you know about that.
So this one's actually pretty interesting. The motor vehicle tax, so when you go get your new car or when you go to renew your license plate, you pay taxes on some of those fees. So what the county is now essentially proposing come this November is to raise that tax. Right now it's currently at 0.05 and it would go up to 0.07 if voters approve this. So the county essentially would make an extra $3 million a year. Something that was actually pretty interesting that I actually learned when I was covering this story is that Montana obviously has a pretty low rate of taxes when it comes to getting a license plate. So a lot of people from out of state actually come and register their cars in Montana. So essentially what the county wants to do is collect more money from people who are registering their cars from out of state and obviously from people who are just moving to the area. So because of the growth, there's just been so much.
Definitely, especially in Gallatin County. Now, in terms of public reception, you know, the people that you've talked to, is this something that is being received, or that's something that we'll probably just have to wait and see?
You know, with this one, it's interesting just because, you know, it is more taxes, but what the county has to do with this money is has to use it for road maintenance. So, you know, we do hear a lot about people wanting to see better roads in the county, and so essentially what the county is doing with this tax is that the state law requires them to use this for road maintenance, so the county would use that for road maintenance. But the interesting thing about this is the county also has to split that money with the cities and towns. So, for example, City of Bozeman, Belgrade, Town of Manhattan, all the towns in the county would also get at least a chunk of that money based on their population size as well.
Now, speaking specifically about the City of Bozeman, we're going to be talking about the plastic initiative next. Now, that's something, there's a lot of talk about it, both for and against it.
Yes.
Now, break down a little bit about what this plastic ban initiative is, and again, public reception. What are you hearing out there?
So essentially, this is a citizen-led initiative to essentially ban single-use plastics within the City of Bozeman. This one actually had a pretty rocky way to the ballot just because the city says that the citizen group didn't collect enough of the signatures. Essentially, the county decided last week, the county administrator decided last week that they did have enough of those signatures, so it now will be on the ballot. But even just the road to getting this thing on the ballot was not the easiest thing. But it now is, and it would essentially ban single-use plastics within the City of Bozeman. And if this does take effect, it would take effect on May 1st of next year.
Definitely going to be an interesting one to watch. Now, finally, just to wrap everything up, this is kind of the big one for at least the Bozeman area. Now, this is, I tend to call it the first responder levy. I'm sure it has a more official title to it, but this includes 48 mills, $18 million goes towards things like the fire department, the police department. Break that down a little bit, because $18 million, that's a big chunk of change to be asking for
Correct.
people.
And that, just to clarify, there are two questions for this. There's the $18 million for just the fire station alone, and then there's a separate question for the fire department and police department staffing. So essentially, you're going to be asked two questions: the $18 million for the fire station and then the extra up to the 48 mills for the additional staffing for the police department. So it wouldn't be all a one hit, especially for the second question on the first responder question. It would start off and it would be incremental. So by the end of the city said by 2030 is when it would cap out at the 48. So it would be incremental once this passes. So it won't be the biggest tax hit right away, but eventually if this does pass, residents in the city will end up paying up to the 48 mills, which could be up to a pretty big chunk of change.
Sure, and I mean, of course, this says that it'll go towards additional police department staff, personnel equipment, safety costs as well. And I mean, Edgar, you've done a lot of reporting on this, so if you'd like to learn any more, definitely go and check out our website for Edgar's reporting. Edgar, thank you so much for being on the show with us.
Appreciate it.
Now, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Matt's going to have a look at that forecast for you.